Hello class, my name is Shaif Talukdar, and I will be going over my midterm project of the salary disparities between genders, between male and female, and I will filter it with years of education, minority classification, and date of birth. As you see, I created a dashboard. Within the dashboard, I have two different charts. One shows the male and female salaries based on education, the total. And then the second one, it shows the top 10 for male and female average salaries based on age. And then over here, I have added two slicers to basically filter through the exact all the data. So let's go over all the data that I have. So overall, this is basically the data that I have gotten from Google. So with this, I have a couple of columns with gender, current salary, years of education, minority classification, and date of birth. So what I did before I started creating the charts is within this data, I created a table. By creating a table, I can actually filter out, as you see over on this side, the male and female genders. So with this, it will show me all the female and their current salary, years of education, their minority classification, as well as their date of birth. I can also do the same thing with male. So what this does is it helps me look through the entire table and shows me the exact salaries that the male and female made, and it also auto filters the years of education. I can also filter through current salaries as well as years of education. So years of education, I can actually check, let's say for instance, 8 years of education, and it shows me, it already auto-filtered, so it shows me the male, female, the current salaries, as well as the minority and the date of birth. So the cool thing that I actually found out within this Excel project is that we can create pivot tables. So I would insert an actual pivot table, which I've already done, and go into the average, the gender salaries. So over on the right hand side, it shows I can select the different fields. So gender, current salary, years of education, minority, as well as date of birth, and then create different filters for it. So within the rows, I have added gender as well as date of birth, and the values is the sum of the current salary. I did one more filter, which is I wanted to check the top 10. So this shows me the top 10 for females as well as top 10 for males and their date of birth. So I created a column chart, a bar chart, and it shows me the top 5 for male as well as the top 5 for females in terms of their average salaries. So next, I went back to the data. I created a secondary pivot chart, and over here I have added the years of education for males and females. So the years of education, I have the sum of the current salaries for females with 8 years of education level, 12 years, 15, 16, and 17, and for males ranging from 8 to 21. Over on this side, the fields that I chose were gender, current salary, and years of education. On the rows, I have added gender, years of education, and the values, the sum of the current salary. And what I did is I created a column chart. So on the column chart, it shows me the females as well as males, and it shows me the sum of their salaries based on their years of education. So for females, as we've seen on the last pivot table, 8, 12, 15, 16, and 17, and for males, 8 through 21. So I have added another 2 slicers, so one for genders and one for years of education. So let's check out 12 years of education. So on this side, it'll show me based on the top 5 for years of education, based on 12 years of education for males and females, and the date of birth. And over on this side, it shows me the total salaries, as it shows right here, over 3 million for females as well as males. And let's say, for instance, on this, for gender, I created just for females, and it shows me just for females, and on this side. So how are both of them connecting? Let's take out the filters first. So I reported the connection since I have two pivot tables. I reported the connection, made sure that they were connected. So every time I change the gender on the slicer, it'll automatically change on both charts. And take out. For females, I can check out 8 years of education and what the total salary is. And let's say, for instance, I wanted to add 16 years. I press Control and add 16 years, and it'll show me 8 and 16. Take out the filters and back to the two charts. Lastly, I have created an average salary minority report on PowerView. So the cool thing about this is, same thing, I use the same data, and over here I have the current salary, and with the current salary I have the for the values, and for the other two fields I have added gender as well as minority classification. So for the current salary, I have chose the average. So the average, it will show me the average salary for male and female based on minority. So for the vertical multiple, I added the minority classification. So the classification for a minority is 1 and the non-minority is 0. So over here I have learned that for males that are not part of the minority, they're making close to 45,000, and for the minority they're making close to 33,000. And then for female, they're making about 26, almost 27,000, and for female they're making about 23. So huge disparity, I say, in terms of males. So the average male is making close to almost $12,000 more as a non-minority versus a minority. So within this entire project, I have learned, I have analyzed the data and found out that there's a huge disparity between males and females, and then as well as the minorities. So minorities are making, on average for male, about $12,000, $13,000 less than the non-minority, and the female, there's about a $3,000 difference. Thank you and enjoy the presentation.